Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy, and in today's session we'll be discussing about the Hindu newspaper edition, which is associated with the daily news analysis that we are doing this. So in today's session we'll take up 25th 8 2022 newspaper. As I keep repeating, please keep the newspaper copy with you, and also try to ensure that you have certain white pages. You will be able to understand what to write and what not to write. Slow to ensure that you people understand from whichever language you belong to, and I'll also try to dictate notes so that it's comfortable for students to complete it. So guys, the first issue is with respect to Nitish government wins floor test in Bihar, which is a political issue, not so important. There were some CBI searches in RJD, so not so important. I do whatever High Command tells me, not so important. All these are political issues. You can leave them. Adani bid for NDTV to stifle Congress. The only channel which Adani Group is purchasing is what they are trying to criticize. Supreme Court bench to revisit 2013 verdict on poll promises. Party cannot escape liability is what they are trying to talk about. So, not so important. Court to hear review plea. See, to hear, not so important. Always remember, if the judgment comes, it will be important. They are revisiting and all, not so important. And this is state news, so you can leave it. So we'll go directly to editorial, and you should be feeling comfortable that we are not reading so many things, and I want people to know that if a student understands what to read and what not to read, that itself will reduce his efforts, and that's when the people will be able to clear this exam in first attempt. Upon reading everything without understanding what is important and what not, then the problem comes. So guys, in the opinion, you have the Congress is looking at a new leadership, not required, heading the G20 and New Delhi choices. A very, very important article, guys. I'll help you mark those lines which are important, and I want you to write those lines accurately. Fine. The first point is G20. India is going to be a year-long president. From when? December to November. Fine. And what is G20? You will have 19 powerful economies and the European Union. So, this is the first point that you must be clear about. There are 19 countries plus European Union, which is part of this. And then the article argues that this is not the first time India has done. India has done before NAM in 1983, third India-Africa Summit in 2015. See guys, everyone was aware that that is 2023 we are going to have G20 Summit, and from last 2 years UPSC continuously in prelims they are asking about G20. So there is a possibility of this question in later stages as well, right? So that is very, very important. And when this third India-Africa Summit was held in India, there was a question about India-Africa Summit as well. Now, what is the importance? So this word is important if they are asking a mains question. G20 member represents nearly 90% of the world GDP. This must be there. 80% of global trade, 67% of population, So it is very, very important about this. And it also has representations from United Nations, World Bank, WTO, World Health Organization as well, right? And then it has worked very well, right, during Eurozone crisis as well. Now, there are certain choices for India according to this. The first thing is G20 will help India to get opportunities. That means because of G20, our investments may increase because we will be able to showcase what we are. So, what is going to happen? There will be increase in foreign investments. Second important thing here, attractive investment and tourism destination, right? And the second most important thing is after us, Indonesia, India, so before it was Indonesia, India, Brazil, and South Africa. So within 4 years, four countries are holding it, guys. See, Indonesia this year, India, Brazil, South Africa. So four countries have done it, and all these four are developing countries. So developing countries are always called as global south. Fine. Developing countries are called as global south. Developed countries are called as north. And then you also have India, Brazil, South Africa. Basically, everyone was talking about BRICS, but now IPSA has become important. And most importantly, these countries have come together and they will be holding G20. Fine. It will also help India to work together with African Union. So yes, these are some of the things that are important. So read entire article but write down the points that I have given. Yes, this is universal basic income. This was in economic survey as well. He is arguing why it is important, but his argument is not so valid. So it's just a research scholar. So don't waste your time in reading it. Aadhar voter ID link. See, yes, as you are aware, yesterday we read in the newspaper that government is looking for linking Aadhar with voter ID, but many people are not happy with that. So I have discussed this. I just want you to read it once. And guys, they are actually trying to say that the experiment is already done in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Unfortunately, during this time, lot of people who were eligible for voting were not allowed to vote. Their names were removed. Second important thing, it says that you have many legitimate people and numbers in voter ID compared to Aadhar. So it is not correct to link these two, is what they are trying to tell. This guy is a diplomat. Actually, his articles will be important, but they are talking about the Tunisia, so not so important. You can leave. The death of Inder Megwal. See, guys, this is an issue where you might have read about a 9-year-old Dalit boy beaten to death because he drank water from the teacher, and that was from an earthen pot. And that earthen pot, people are saying that it was meant only for upper caste people and not for others. So that is the issue that they are trying to raise here. And in the article, it says that in Rajasthan, these things are extremely more and that it is problematic. So, this article is accepting that in Rajasthan this happens, but with respect to that particular village and the particular boy, the article is trying to say that, like, he already had some head injury. Now when the faculty hit him, so, like, it aggravated is what people tell. Second most important thing what people are wondering, and people, even the teacher was saying that he bet him not because of drinking water but because of some other issues. So, not so important, but if you can have this example in your answers, it would be helpful, guys. In the sense, recent news like this in social issues, Indian society answers and all, it would be helpful. So, guys, now about freebies, Supreme Court is actually saying that there must be a broad based committee to look into it and distinguish between what is a freebie and a welfare scheme is. So they don't want judiciary to enter into it and look into the issue. So this is just a suggestion. So suggestions are not so important. Bilkis Bano case, Supreme Court to hear petition today. Says hearing is not so important. Here, we just need to understand that the outrage is mostly because of, releasing the victims. Sorry, releasing the culprits. Guys. Modi may attend. As I told you, may is not so important, right? Two oligarchs controlling media, not so important. First time since 2019, Mirway is likely to deliver Friday sermon. So the meaning of that is, after India removed Article 370, some people were detained in Jammu and Kashmir. It is talking about that specific issue. Arrested Pak militant was sent to hit forward posts. So India is trying to protect, ourselves from the terrorists coming from Pakistan. Center voices for Russia Ukraine talks. There was a CO, Defense Minister meet, where almost everyone met. And at that point of time, India has told that let Russia and Ukraine talk and resolve the crisis rather than anything else. So, this is our version as well. And then, in this particular case, Prime Minister is talking about how spiritual leaders helped in easing vaccine hesitancy. I want you to use this example in ethics. See, guys, in ethics, you have a topic called as attitude, and many people are not ready to change their attitude purely because, purely because, uh, like you know, their religious beliefs and all say don't go for vaccination and all. Some people were trying to say that there is some big viruses or cells that are actually involved, and some people were talking about some other animals. So all those made some people not to go for vaccines, but later, when the religious leaders and all started talking, it was helpful. So that is important, guys, nothing much. Because to hear, not important. Reserves order, not important. What is the meaning of this? They have not given judgment yet. So this is not important. BJP made cash offers, not so important. Supreme Court to hear, not important. Regional language important in early learning. Very, very important. Panel to bring out 1500 books in regional languages in next 1 year. Right? So read it once, give a glance, nothing much. Supreme Court asks center to expand food security coverage. Guys, no need to make notes in this. Here he is trying to say that English is extremely important. Only when you have very good English, you will be in a position to compete better. This is what they are trying to tell here. But in the early learning stage, it is very, very important for you to have regional languages, and that is the reason they are planning to get those books and all in the regional languages. Next important thing, the most important thing is about the food security coverage. So there was an act called as National Food Security Act in 2000. National Food Security Act was there in 2013, and this was based on 2011 census. Now Supreme Court is trying to say that try to come up and use 2021 rather than using 2011 itself. And we don't have data of 2021 because of COVID, guys. And most importantly, Supreme Court argues that food is a fundamental right which is available under Article 21. Fine, this is important. And then there is e-Shram portal where the states will register unorganized workers, migrant laborers and all. And once we get this, we are planning to go for one nation, one ration. So the meaning of that is the ration card which is issued in one state can be used to take or get food grains in another area as well. So that is what they are planning to tell. Second, there is a central team going to probe Narega work in Chhattisgarh. Not so important. It is all politically motivated stuff. Fresh searches, not so important. Boeing pitches, not so important. But wind project addition to peak by 2024. See, we are planning to go for electric vehicles, and for that electricity is important. Till today in India, most of the electricity is obtained mostly through thermal energy. Thermal energy basically means I will burn the coal or natural gas. It will heat the water. Water gets converted into water vapor. Water vapor will make the turbine to rotate. And as the turbine rotates, what is going to happen? Electricity is generated. So now we are planning for global wind energy. See guys, there is a report released by Global Wind Energy Council, right? And it is trying to say that India has committed to sourcing half of its electricity 2030 from non-fossil fuel sources. I want you to write this line. What is it? India has committed. This can be economic geography topic. This is a separate paper page. India has committed to get half of its electricity supply from non-fossil fuel sources and install 60 gigawatt of wind power by 2022. So far, only 40 gigawatts of wind power capacity has been established. Another 20 gigawatt we have to produce. Fine guys, and remember this 60 gigawatt is equal to 1000 megawatt. Sorry, 1 gigawatt is equal to 1000 megawatt. Wind industry installations have been slowing. One of the main problem why wind installations are not working effectively is because of availability of land. So what we are going to do is wind solar hybrid we are telling. Can you see here? Below you have solar panel and you also have energy. So in one land, I am going for both wind energy and solar power plant, so that land is not wasted, and that will help me more. Fine. And these are some of the facts that is important. And I just want you to know this particular paragraph where they are trying to say that most of these investments are present in Gujarat and Tamil Nadu and not in other states much. So guys, this issue is very, very important from economic geography point of view. Guys. So guys, with this we have almost completed. Thai issue is not important. US is not important. Rishi Sunak is not important. Like the UK guy. Just remember he may become the prime minister. US to donate is not so important. Ukraine, Finland, right? So nothing much, guys. World news until and unless it is associated with India, don't get in much. Fine. Yeah, guys. CRISIL is an economic group. GST kitty for top states could, would, might, not important. India set to plan SOPs for rupee use in Russia trade. India is trying to tell that SOPs means some sort of advantages, subsidies. India is saying that any industry, if it agrees to purchase anything from Russia in rupees, get tax concession. That means we are planning to ensure that rupee is accepted by the people. No, okay. Why is the government telling the companies is like this? Now, let us say there is a Tata company which wants to purchase something from Russia, and the Tata company will not be bothered whether it is dollars or rupees. But when there is a tax concession, then Tata will talk to Russian company and say, please accept in rupees. It may delay, but it will benefit me. Then they may come together. So that is what they are planning to talk about it. Fine. So this is Mercedes Benz, American Express Cards, TVS Motors, Repco Home Finance, ONGC. All this is not important. And then you have sports, so important, you can leave. And I'll show you text and context, what to see and what not. I already told you that there is a competition commission going on within the country, and according to that competition commission, they are thinking what amendments can be made, right? What amendments can be made. So this is it. But I would say we can read about this specific article once the amendment is actually done, rather than. Okay, guys, this one, tomato flu outbreak and the center's advisory. Recently, only I made you write about this specific one, but just let me tell you, this article you read more than enough. Notes wise, whatever is important, we have already seen this. Living in Chennai, celebrating Madras, and these issues are not so important. Because actually, if we keep on reading, I will tell you certain days you will take 1.5 hours to read a newspaper because editorial issues will be more. But nowadays, fortunately, the number of issues are less. That is the reason we are not able to look into it much. So guys, I hope these videos are helpful. Please subscribe and also share it with your friends, so that over a period of time everyone understands how exactly we need to look into these issues. So thank you guys, thanks a lot, thanks for your patience. We are launching new courses with respect to KPSC and UPSC. Please try to tell to your friends and let them join soon, so that we can ensure that by 2023 the syllabus is completed in a proper manner and they can clear in their first attempt. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot.